We're waiting for the slide to come up. We have no slides?
Yeah, Red's bringing it.
Okay, thanks. The nominated candidates this year, everyone I contacted agreed to continue on for another term. President Steve Preston, Vice President Roger Venable, Executive Secretary Richard Nugent, Secretary and Treasurer Chad Ellington, Vice President for Grazing Occultation Services Mitsuru Soma, he's out of Japan, Vice President for Planetary Occultation Services Brad Emerson, Vice President for Lunar Occultation Services Rob Robinson. And directors, David Dunham and Paul Maley, who were previously the President and Vice President, they're lifetime directors. And the voting this year was between, I opened up the voting July 3rd, the month prior to the meeting, through the 26th, 25th, and all candidates were reelected. And next slide. Therefore, under the powers granted to me by IOTA's bylaws, I hereby certify the election. And that's my signature. And that's it.
No hanging chads.
No hanging chads. Exactly. Yeah, okay. If anybody wants to assist any of the officers, you're welcome to do so. Just contact the officer if you want to get involved in that area of our business, such as helping with the reductions, or maybe contact Brad, contact Steve, contact me. I'm working on a major revision of the IOTA manual. I could use some help because I'm not very good with Microsoft Word and how to get the index working. Once I get the index working, I can start adding pages without changing all the pages in the index, because I typed them in myself manually, and that's a job. That's a job. I did it 7 years ago. I haven't done it yet. No, I'm working on that. There's supposedly a Google method. Google has a document, a program that you can do that. Word document, you can do it. I can do it with Word. I have to redo each index item one at a time. But once I'm done, I'm done. Because I got a whole list of things I need to do to get it updated. Because it came out 10 years ago, 9 years ago. So a lot of changes have happened. Okay. Ted?
Thanks, Richard. Well, it's my pleasure to present the awards presentation for 2016. If you could go to the next slide, Brad. This is the second year that I've chaired the awards committee. It's been an honor. As you know, most organizations do offer awards to members, and the reason for this is manifold. We like to make people aware of what our values are. We like to identify people that we feel uphold and provide an example of how those values are upheld and set. And we place some value on making sure that everyone is aware that folks who demonstrate those values and who are our exemplars are mentioned and honored each year. So IOTA has chosen to do this, to present 2 awards each year, the Homer Daybol Award and the David Laird Award, which I'll describe in a moment. But first of all, I would like to present a Special Achievement Award. If you could go to the next slide, please. We're presenting this year a Special Achievement Award to our good friend, Art Lucas. Art, could you come up here, please? Come on right up here next to me. Okay. Art, this Special Achievement Award reads, "This Special Achievement Award is presented to Art Lucas for his outstanding support of IOTA as an officer for many years, for coordinating the 2 IOTA meetings held in the Stillwater, Oklahoma area in 2005 and 2016, and for being a dedicated observer of numerous asteroid, and I should add lunar, occultations." So we really appreciate all your help, especially this time of this meeting. So thanks very much. And maybe we could get a picture of you with Steve standing up here. I got a little camera over there.
Interesting, you mailed the other awards to me at the house, and you didn't send this one.
I didn't send that one to you, no sir. We wanted that to be a nice little surprise.
Well, we have a lot of fun doing this. One of the ironies of this is Barbara thinks we're all crazy. Okay,
She's right.
and the closer she gets to this, the more fun she has. And
It just hadn't been at 5 in the morning, right?
yeah. So
schedule next for 10 at night, maybe?
something like that. Yeah. So what do you want to do?
So we'll just get a picture of you. I've got a little camera here if you want to use it, Richard.
You know, set.
Not working.
Okay.
Want me to hold that? You have a camera or? Yes. Okay. I think maybe Richard was looking for it.
Just for introducing us to Granny's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Was that okay?
That was great.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely have to add that on there.
Well,
All right, why don't you guys stand over? Here, I'll hold the mic. That way you'll be out of the light. That's perfect right there. Good. Good.
Oh, we can see it.
There you go. All right. I want to get one more with a flash. Good. Good. Very good.
Great. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Art. Okay, thanks. So next slide, please. IOTA offers presents 2 awards each year for exemplary service to organization. And the committee members for selecting the awardee are the previous recipients of these awards who are listed here, along with 3 additional folks who are very kindly serve with me on the committee. Richard Nugent, Terry Redding, and myself, along with all the other previous awardees. Next slide, please. And we solicited and received nominations from all IOTA organizations and anyone associated with IOTA who is interested in making a nomination for the award. Anyone who has made a significant contribution to IOTA is eligible to receive the award, and we made the call for nominations about a month before this event, and about 6 weeks before this event, kept it open for about a month. IOTA membership is not required. However, sitting officers are excluded, and members of the award committee are excluded from receiving these awards. Next slide, please. We received nominations from multiple countries. We had some nominees recommended more than once, and all were excellent candidates, it goes without saying. We conducted the deliberations by email through a private chat group, and we always make this particular effort to encourage organizations all around the world to submit candidates, which happened this year, but to make that even easier next year, starting right after this meeting, we will have a form on the IOTA website, occultations.org, that anyone can use to make a nomination for either of these awards throughout the year. And so we're hoping that the existence of that form will become more widely known to other organizations around the world, and allow nominations to come in from anyone who feels that someone has made a real contribution to occultation science. Next slide, please. So we invited people to basically write a little essay about why they felt this person deserved the award, and we were then able to discuss the awardees on that basis. Please, next slide. The Homer Dayball Award is given for someone who's made a significant contribution to occult science and to the work of IOTA. Homer Dayball was an organizer of grazing expeditions beginning in the late 1960s. He suggested the name IOTA, and founding officer of IOTA. He was secretary-treasurer and first editor of the Occultation newsletter from 1974 through 1990. So we present this award in his name to honor someone who has made a recent contribution to the work of IOTA. Next slide, please. These are the previous awardees. Most recently, Gerhard Dangel in Austria was awarded this Homer Dayball Award last year for his work on categorizing various cameras and lots of other work as well. So let's go on to this year's awardee, please, if you go to the next slide. This year the award is being presented to Derek Bright. Many of you know Derek. I'll read the, I have the plaque here. we will shortly send to him. This plaque reads, "For tireless and enthusiastic support of and numerous significant contributions to occultation science and the work of IOTA." On the next slide, I've got some words that we had describing Derek's work. For many years, Derek has been a mentor, IOTA promoter, observer, webmaster of the Occultation Prediction Clearinghouse website, pointsource.com, and a contributor to occultation prediction information for the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada annual publication, that great book, The Observer's Handbook. His first occultation in the list was in 2002 in Martinez, and he's been the IOTA Regional Coordinator for Lunar Occultation Reports since at least 2007. He developed that nice Why Occultations brochure that we give out at the NEAF booth every year. Hundreds of those have been passed out. And he assisted the late Sandy Baumgartner in teaching astronomy at Mount Diablo College. He's done at least 20 lunar grace campaigns, produced over 200 events, at least 74 individual lunar occultation events, and at least 53 asteroid occultation events measured between 2002 and 16. His endless enthusiasm and bright ideas have been an inspiration to us all, and IOTA is pleased to present the 2016 Homer F. Dayball Award to Derek C. Bright. Derek is online, and he has asked me to read a few words of thanks here, and I have those here. Derek says, "I wish to thank the selection committee and IOTA for deeming me worthy of the 2016 Homer F. Dayball Award. I was stunned when I learned the news. When I finally picked myself up off the floor, I responded, 'For the first time in my life, I am left speechless.' Me, speechless? Did anyone think that was even possible? I do wish to thank some individuals. First, my parents, who noticed I was blind as a bat at 6 years old. The new glasses showed thousands of points of light in the sky that I had never seen before. A 60mm Tasco arrived shortly thereafter, as did my incessant demands that everyone come see Saturn, or something that they had just had to see. Also to Wifey for her chocolate chip Gray's cookies, as well as her general tolerance of weird hours in weird places. Many of us could say that. Also a big thank you to everyone who read and, more importantly, responded to my uneducated questions. I was taught the only dumb question is the one you never ask. So I was never shy about asking, and thankfully the individuals of IOTA were an unceasing reservoir of freely available answers and encouragement. After seeing an occultation on my first attempt in 2002, September, I immediately wanted to know when the next one was. I wanted to plan for it in advance and help others plan. I would have to learn more quickly. Fortunately, the 2003 IOTA meeting was to be held in Rockland, California. One person flew into the San Francisco Bay Area from out of state. He only knew me via email, but he picked me up at my front door and took me on my 12-inch scope to Rockland. It was glorious. For being the first person in IOTA to support my efforts, Art Lucas, I remember you every time someone says, "Hi, I'm new here." Also, a hearty thank you to my regional coordinator, who always made sure I was invited to any events. Now that I can lead my own expeditions, thanks to his example, he has never failed to join me. We haven't had a decent graze nearby for some time, but when we do, I'm sure Walt Morgan will be there. Finally, we come to someone who deserves more thanks than I can ever give, and I told him so all the time. The paper cuts off here, but Derek is saying an extra special thanks to Sandy Baumgartner, who was his mentor, the developer of the original developer of the Point Source website, and his mentor for all these many years. And he says, if I had a better camera for the grays, I would have seen Sandy up there smiling, I'm sure. Those are Derek's thank you words. Congratulations, Derek. Next slide, please. The David A. Laird Award is offered again for service to IOTA and to occultation science for those who contributed more than 15 years ago to the hobby. The name honors David E. Laird, who was a physics teacher in Cincinnati, organized grazing expeditions in the Midwest starting in the early 60s, published articles like one, Have Telescope Will Travel, in 1966, confirmed the existence of a giant impact basin on the lunar far side, and unfortunately suffered from leukemia and passed away way too young at age 37. So we honor those who made contributions Next slide, please. Oh, he says we lost the sound. Okay, well, hopefully we have it back. Okay, good. Previous awardees in 2013, Hal Pubenmeyer, in 2014, Gordon Taylor, and in 2015, here in the room with us, Bob Sandy. So next slide, please. This year's 2016 David E. Laird Award is presented to Jean Mies of Belgium. Jean, the plaque reads, for unique and sustained contributions in computing and predicting all types of occultations and eclipses, and for first predicting and observing a grazing occultation. If you go to the next slide, please, we've got a little description of Jean's work, or Jean, I should say. Jean has long been recognized as a leading authority on the calculation of all kinds of astronomical phenomena, including occultations. His books are classics, especially Astronomical Formulae for Calculators and Astronomical Tables of the Sun, Moon, and Planets. The occultation section of the latter is comprehensive, not only providing extensive tables of the most important lunar occultations well into the future, but also clearly explaining the formulae for calculating the phenomena. He developed a method of calculating the paths of grazing occultations directly at equal intervals of longitude, necessary in most of the history of grazing occultations. He was the first person ever to observe a grazing occultation, predicted by himself, of Lambda Geminorum from his observatory in, I won't try to pronounce, Erps, Belgium, on November 20th, 1959, when he recorded 3 disappearances and reappearances of the star using a tape recorder. Jean has also predicted occultations of bright stars by major planets, such as the 1976 occultation of Epsilon Geminorum by Mars. Successfully observed by the Kuiper Airborne Observatory, it was the first ever observation of a central flash due to atmospheric lensing, a technique which was then used to study the atmosphere of Pluto. For these and many other contributions, IOTA is pleased to present the 2016 David E. Laird Award to Jean Mies. Next slide, please. I think we have a few words from Jean here. Can we go to the next slide, Brad? Hope we still have sound. Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, Jean just sent a few words to say thank you. He sent this photograph. Yeah, could we go back one slide to the previous slide? This photograph he sent was taken during his personal observation of the recent transit of Mercury by his son-in-law at his home in Belgium. So we congratulate Jean and both awardees here, and we will send their plaques off to them quickly. And thank you all.